بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, He is Allah, who is one.
الله الصمد.
Allah, the eternal refuge.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He neither begets nor is born.
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Nor is there to him any equivalent.
All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I'll start with my introduction. My name is Syed Ghulam Murtaza. I'm working as Manager Operations in UMT Connected States Department. Today's session, it's going to be really interesting, very interactive, to the point. We're going to take all of your concerns, confusions, questions regarding LMS, regarding OLLARC, that what is OLLARC and how that is beneficial or not beneficial for you. First of all, I'd like to thank all the participants for taking their time out and attending today's session. My special thanks to our guest speaker, Mr. Arsalan Asim, definitely. Before I give the mic to the presenter, I'd just like to share these details with all the participants. This is an email address for our department, that ithelpdesk@umt.edu.pk. Any issues that you face related to LMS, you can always just simply email us over here. This service is available for faculty and for all the students as well. So once again, I would like to request. Okay, Mr. Aslan Said, if you can kindly mute yourself. All right, thank you. So before we start, I just like to set the decorum that kindly keep your mics on mute unless you have something to share. For that, please raise your hand and we'll give you the mic. Or the best way is to share your feedback, your suggestions, your questions in the chat box, and the Mr. Arsalan Asim will be more than happy to answer all your questions. Now, I'd just like to give a small introduction to Mr. Arsalan. He has been actually associated with Institute of Aviation Studies as an instructor for more than 3 years. Now, after securing 10 A stars and 2 A's in his O and A level exams, he moved on to the College of Aeronautical Engineering, NUST, Respeller, and completed his degree in avionics engineering. Now, being a passionate researcher, he continued his academic pursuit and completed a master's degree in electrical engineering from a research university, the Information Technology University, ITU. Now, his research interests include electromagnetics and phonetics. Now, his papers have been published the VFAS Transactions on Software Engineering and Progress in Electromagnetics Research, Letters, USA. Now, without taking any further time, I would like to give the mic to Mr. Aslan Asim, very nice human being and a very nice colleague. I always enjoy working with him and learn many things from him. So, Mr. Aslan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Asap, for your kind words. I'm humbled and I'm really grateful to you for saying so much, for being so generous in speaking about my profile. So, as you already know, I am Arsalan Asim, and I'll be speaking today regarding the presentation of challenging topics in a new format, with the focus on engineering and technology courses. So as you already know, I belong to the Institute of Aviation Studies, and the particular courses that I teach are related to aircraft technology and and electrical technology courses. So I'm really grateful to all the senior members and all the faculty who have joined, and also the students who have joined for today's session, especially our dean, Mr. Captain Imran Saeed, who was informed, although he was informed late, but he graced the event with his presence. So I'm really thankful to all of you. And without wasting any more time, I would like to welcome, sir. Well, and without wasting any more time, I'd like to move on to the topic of today's presentation, which is the presentation of challenging topics in a new format. And the overall discussion that I'll be having will be based on the following key points, where I'll be discussing about the overview and learning outcomes and their relevance to the schema theory, and then how we can use the overview for the schematic identification, the importance of the discussion forum to encourage and bring about creative and critical thinking, and how we can spot confusing ideas and common mistakes in students, common misconceptions among students through the discussion fora, and how we can provide assessment feedback through the LMS, and then we can talk about the wonders of the YouTube lecture playlist, and how we can customize our template for specific school or program-based requirements, and how once the template is customized, we can use it further for record keeping. So finally, as all of my students also know, that we have a love for science. So engineers and technologists have a love for science. So this new template can also help us in expressing our love for physics, mathematics, engineering, and technology, and in general, our love for science. So we'd like to talk about our love for science for some time. And I'll end by giving my humble recommendations to the August gathering, to the faculty who are attending this session. And finally, I will conclude the session. So we already, for the engineering faculty, we know engineering and technology faculty is already aware of the fact that we have very specifically defined course learning outcomes for every course in the degree program. And those course learning outcomes are aligned with the program learning outcomes, the greater objective of a 4-year degree program of technology or engineering. And in my opinion, these course learning outcomes should be aligned in a manner that they also serve the purpose of schematic development. So I recently attended a course on online teaching offered by the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And there I came across this wonderful theory, which was somehow, which I was already practicing in my classes, but this is where I came to know about it in a more literary manner. So the schema theory states that humans learn, or humans tend to grab information in an organized pattern of thought or behavior, and they categorize them into separate boxes or separate groups of clusters of information, which are actually linked to each other, and it is a system of organizing and perceiving information. So what I do is that I use my overview for this schematic identification. So my focus is during the week is to identify the main schemas or schemata that will be covered during the week. So this is how I present my overview to the students. So it's nothing but the key schematic points that I have to develop, that I want to target during my lectures of the week. So let's say these 4 things. If we look at them in a technologist's or engineer's point of view, they're all related to each other. They're all falling under the same category of p-n junctions and depletion region and diodes. They serve as the basic background behind the functioning of diodes, transistors, and all the modern microelectronic circuits. So the purpose that they serve is that they really help me in identifying what exactly is the objective of the 2 to 3 hour lectures hours lecture that will be delivered to the students. Now, when this new template came forth, the most exciting thing that I found was the discussion forum. And the primary reason was the fact that it gives the students the freedom of expression to put their opinions, to place new ideas to the forum without even, well, in my case, I don't like to practice the grading phobia tool in these discussion forums. So a lot of students cannot actually are not able to actually express their ideas or actually put their thought to paper until they are not free from the grade phobia. So this is something that we've all experienced during our academic lives, which definitely is continuing, which continues for life. But these discussion fora can provide a really nice platform for placing or putting or displaying new ideas and new concepts and new thoughts, new questions to the peers, to the instructor, to other people in the class in a very comfortable manner. And we know that as instructors, as faculty, most of our assessments are very focused towards in terms of the questions that we set for the exam. They're not very open-ended problems, except for few assignments that we do or projects that we assign to the students. The discussion that we generally have is based on to the point closed questions, which do have specific answers, because that's what actually helps students to. That's what actually motivates students to solve them. But there are other things that have open-ended solutions, or there are open-ended questions. So you can really use this platform for open-ended questions. And one can expect, as a faculty member, I can really say that I found this extremely helpful in the sense that I have seen so many different innovative answers of the students that I really feel that this great discussion fora are effective and very engaging. But then the problem arises that we need to define the procedural language of discussion, since a liberated or an unchecked well, I should say unchecked, but if it's ungraded, then there is liberty to speak. And then if there's liberty, there is a chance of students putting up opinions that may hurt, or that may serve as taunts to the other peers. So in order to maintain that relationship of respect and trust, we need, as instructors, as faculty, I have experienced that we need to define the procedure or the language of discussion for this discussion forum. So these are some examples that I would like to present to my faculty that I use. Maybe they would find it helpful, and maybe they would find it effective, that I use for my courses. So let's say, for example, that we are about to discuss scattering of electromagnetic waves by the atmosphere. So instead of putting up a question that might seem boring to the students regarding the scattering of electromagnetic waves, or Rayleigh scattering, or Meade scattering, what I do is that I put up a question that says, why does the sky appear blue? So in response, I get a lot of innovative answers that it's not blue, it's purple. So let's say there are a lot of other innovative answers, but I specify that if you hold a different opinion, whether it's a scientific opinion even, you need to prove it through logical reasoning. So this is one sample response that I got during my lectures. So you can see there are some mistakes, but what I see in them is that the students really take interest in something, and they present their ideas in a comfortable manner. This is a sample response too, where I noticed that there are students who cannot comfortably communicate in the class can actually show very good responses in the discussion forum. So there are students who are actually not showing very a very active participation in the live lectures, but they present their opinions and they present their ideas on the discussion fora in a very effective manner. So this is one of those students who was not very active otherwise, but he presented his ideas in a very elaborate manner on the discussion forum. So the primary objective is that we need to inculcate a habit of creative or critical thinking in our students. And that is by stimulating a student's interest and developing a process of thought and opinion. Thought alone cannot serve the purpose of university degree requirements. It has to be accompanied by a learned opinion. Obviously, opinion should not be dictated by the faculty. In my opinion, I think we should not be dictating the opinion. Our job as faculty, or in my humble opinion, is that we can only present them with the facts and with the true understanding of all those ideas and subjects that we teach. And the creative thinking can also be encouraged by making students listen to others' opinions and providing a safe and trusting environment for students in the form of discussion fora on the LMS. So they can really feel comfortable, they can feel trusted, and they can put their ideas without the fear of being graded badly. And I really feel that the education system in Pakistan does not serve the purpose of inculcating the habit of creative or critical thinking in students. After 12 years of education, our students lack the very basic. Many of our students, not all of them of course, but many of our students cannot express their opinions or cannot analyze a specific issue or a specific problem through their own creativity or critical thinking. So so another important thing that I noticed during my practice of discussion fora is that there are a lot of common mistakes and common misunderstandings in the class. So let's say, for example, when we talk about operational amplifiers, we have 8 terminals in total, and 4 of them are as shown on the figure, where 2 terminals show power supplies. The terminal moving upward and downward are the power supplies, and moving left are the input terminals. So when I go through that, so it actually discussion fora actually serves as a ready-made feedback for me on my lectures. So I can understand that after my lecture there was a common misunderstanding, and which was that the inverting and the non-inverting terminals have been mixed with the power supplies. So let's say, for example, we talk about this issue here. So this is yet again another student whose response I've used here, who said that the input signal in the inverting amplifier is applied at the negative terminal of the op-amp. On the contrary, the input in the case of a non-inverting amplifier is provided at the positive terminal. So the point is that the terms positive and negative terminals are confusing. So this actually indicates that the student is lacking the understanding of the difference between inverting and non-inverting terminals and positive and negative power supplies. They're primarily 2 different things. In electronics, the power supplies are generally meant to indicate batteries or other power supply devices that provide the energy for the overall functioning of the systems. Whereas the terminals, inverting and non-inverting terminals, actually indicate the inputs of the device. So this is actually a real response that I've taken from one of my discussion fora. So it actually gets a bit confusing when we talk about these things on the discussion forum. So the instructor can actually read through those comments and read through those lines and can actually gauge that there's a common misunderstanding that exists in the class or that exists among the students regarding this particular topic. Another important feature that I just discovered while practicing this discussion, this LMS is that you can provide instant feedback to the students on assessments. So if we go to the grading of assessments, then we can after we provide the grade or the marks for that assessment, we can add particular comments to the students, for the students to understand what they have missed in their assessments. So it's time saving. It basically is free from the compulsion of physical contact, which is a big issue in our present scenario of COVID-19. And it actually provides students with their proof that they're being graded fairly, or there is a single transparent mechanism of grading for the students. And then it basically indicates what the instructor expects from the students in a very clear and in a very clear manner. So let me just stop and take a comment here. So we have a comment from Ms. Elvina Fatma, who says, agreed, the confidence and creativity of our students can be enhanced by removing the blockage of grades phobia, and at the same time engaging them in discussions to think critically and to create and innovate. Thank you very much. It actually is supporting my opinion as a faculty member that grades phobia and relative grading and a lot of other assessment tools have actually taken away the joy of learning. So all a student focuses on during this 15-week marathon is a grade, and that actually takes away the actual spirit of learning. And we are all somehow we have all experienced this, and we are all somehow trapped in it. So we really need to think beyond this to find solutions for our students. Then I would like to talk about the YouTube lecture playlist. So most of us know that in February of 2020, we had to go fully online, and on-campus activities were suspended due to the spread of the COVID-19 virus. So what I used to do in 2020, in spring 2020, was that I used to upload my lectures on Google Drive, and then I used to share the link with the students of the Google Drive. But what happened was that with time, my Google Drive data was choked. I did not have more memory resource to put up my lectures. So each lecture of around 1 hour is like, you can say, 150 MBs on average. So that's a big amount of data. So you can say that in 15 weeks, if we deliver, let's say, 30 lectures, so that's a big data, and you need a really big memory resource for that. So in the next semester, what I did was that I used to share the Zoom cloud links with the students with the passwords. So what happened was that one day I went to the class, and there was an uproar among students that they could no longer access the recordings. Although it served a positive purpose also, that I actually came to know that many of the students have actually not accessed the recordings for a long time. But it really raised a question of data availability or memory resource availability for our lecture recordings, and their long-term sustainable use for the students. So what I did was that that in this semester, I created a YouTube lecture playlist, a YouTube channel, which can just be created through your mail account with your UMT mail account, and you can just go to YouTube from your mail account, and you can actually set up your channel, which is already there by default, but you've actually not set up. So it's an easy process that all of us can do. And what it helps us with is that we can collect videos into course playlists instead of providing individual links or individual Zoom links. What we can do is that we can provide a complete playlist of all the lectures, of all the covered contents of the course during of the proceedings of the course that took place in class. So we can collect them or cluster them into course playlists. It's like a single point access. It's one link that gives access to all the lecture recordings of the semester, and which actually basically serves the purpose of asynchronous use by students. So many of the students although presently we are not exactly experiencing the same kind of internet access issues as we experienced in 2020, but even in cases where students are sitting in remote areas, they can access these lecture recordings later after the class and appear for their assessments. So one of my concerns was privacy on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and for that I had to initially I was a bit skeptical about this YouTube channel initiative, but what happened was that I started to look for options where I can remain in private mode, let's say, or where I can remain in unlisted mode. So these are two different modes. So there are three modes in on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, that you can use to put up your lectures. One is the public mode, where anybody can access your lectures. And even in that mode, what we can do is that we can turn on the comments. We turn off the comments section. So even if the general public can access the lecture recordings, they cannot comment on that. So a lot of us are safe from stray comments coming from all the different sides of the society. So even in public mode, we can restrict our use to specific. We can restrict our privacy. We can restrict the channel to serve our privacy concerns. Then there's unlisted mode, in which we can provide the link to a specific playlist on our lecture recordings, and in the unlisted mode, only the people who have the link can access those lecture recordings. Obviously, just like in public mode, we can turn off the comment section in the unlisted mode. So as a faculty member, this was something that actually made me a bit concerned about my lecture recordings. So I thought on these lines. Then there's private mode, in which we can upload a lecture recording and we can share with specific email addresses of our choice. So it's a highly secret mode, where only those people whom you allow, or whom you share the or to whom you send the mail through YouTube will receive your lecture recordings. Another important factor with YouTube is that during a 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes lecture, not all of the discussion is about the course content. A lot of the discussion is about logistics. A lot of the discussion pertains about assessment feedback, or about general misunderstandings of the students, or sometimes even a casual discussion with the students. So YouTube actually provides us with the freedom, or with the option to edit our lectures. So we can actually trim some parts of the lecture to make it a crisp and to the point discussion on what we want to talk about regarding the course content. And most importantly, it's free. So we don't have to actually pay for it, or we don't have to literally use our memory resources. Even if we use our memory resources in the form of Google Drive and cloud links, we are actually doing it at the cost of something. But so there's no. The better word would be that there is no cost associated with uploading lectures on YouTube. So I would stop for a minute and I would go to the chat.
All right. We're actually getting
Yes.
some questions in the chat box. Should I give? Okay.
Actually, I'll just be ending in 5 minutes.
Sure. Okay.
So if Sir Imran can allow me to continue, and then we can.
So just one question.
Yes,
is there
sir.
any limitation of YouTube space capacity? Is there any limitation on this?
I don't think so, sir. I don't. No, sir.
Because I'm trying to practicing the same, but that's why I was asking the question. Thank you.
Welcome. So just give me 5 minutes. I'll wind it up and then we'll move on to questions. All right. Thank you. So initially, when this new template was introduced, we had a lot of reservations by the faculty, which obviously would still exist among some faculty members. But what we did was that we customized this template for our specific use by program for specific school and program specific requirements. So there are specific requirements of the accreditation or quality organizations that have to be taken care of for the accreditation or for the association of the school or the degree programs with the accreditation bodies or quality organizations. For example, our Institute of Aviation Studies has been accredited by the National Technology Council. The program that we offer of BSc Aircraft Maintenance Engineering Technology has been recognized in a very decorated manner by the National Technology Council. So we actually have to meet their requirements. We actually have to provide them with the proof that we are meeting their requirements. So we actually customize our template in line with the requirements of the accreditation and quality organizations. And this is how our template actually looks like right now. So what the objective was of this, what the objective of this presentation, what one of the objectives of this presentation is that we can actually, that the requirements of the National Technology Council and the Pakistan Engineering Council are very much similar. In fact, there's just a swapping of words in the documentation of the National Technology Council and the Pakistan Engineering Council. So what we can do is, they're same because they are all based on the basic framework of outcome-based education, of CLOs, PLOs, and all the other factors of the OBE system, and proposed and in line with the Bloom's taxonomy. So what we can do is, after this discussion, what we can do is that we can actually think over having a standard template across all engineering and technology programs of the University of Management and Technology, a single template for all technology and engineering related programs at UMT. And then we can actually work on the, let's say we are being pushed by UMT Connected on developing the faculty developer model and on developing so many other important things based on digitalization of the university. So what we can do is that we can optimize, or we can collaborate on across the school and across the institutes to bring the best representation of our courses. So we are already using, because the Institute of Aviation Studies doesn't have the lab resources right now. So what we do is that we collaborate with the School of Engineering, and they provide us with their laboratories. In the coming days or in the coming years, we had planned to develop our labs, our own labs. In fact, we have a small laboratory setup at our Walton Aviation Training School on the Lahore Lahore Walton Aerodrome, where we have different mechanical engineering equipment, many of which has been developed by our own students under the supervision of our faculty and under the supervision of our principal and associate principal. So there is a very extensive room available for improvement in this particular area, where we can optimize, where we can use our resources in the best possible manner. Like we are already doing it. We are already collaborating on different areas, but we can do it in a more organized and in a more optimal manner to bring the best representation of engineering and technology related programs. So let's say in the coming days, we can actually be the actual representatives or the actual distinguishing university in engineering and technology, just like there are other technology and engineering universities dedicated for the studies of engineering and technology. So let's say, for example, my institute, where I completed my undergraduate degree, the College of Aeronautical Engineering, was a very focused college, was a very focused institution based on engineering related studies, and which was actually very helpful. That the overall atmosphere and the overall environment of that institute was very engineering specific. Obviously, there's a downside to that also, but it actually proved really helpful. It actually proves really helpful for all those who want to who really have a passion for engineering or science. Then there's one more reason I'm saying that is that we need to provide the records to the Pakistan Engineering Council and the National Technology Council. So before before today's session, or before the event to online mode, we were actually expecting a visit from the National Technology Council, and we actually were in the process of developing course folders, where suddenly everything closed down because of the sudden rise of COVID-19, and our faculty, because our faculty had to go back to their restricted modes. So we could not complete their visit, their approval visit, or their audit visit to our department, which we very gracefully carried out last time in 2018 or 19. But the second visit could not take place because of COVID-19, and we are not sure how long would it take for us to actually carry out that visit in the present circumstances. So this new customized LMS template, or which can be developed through some more brainstorming, can actually serve the purpose of all the record keeping in a very automatic manner. So what we can do is that we can generate a template, and we can do all the activities on LMS, and instead of providing hard copies of documents to the National Technology Council or the Pakistan Engineering Council, and actually calling them to visit the university, and actually discussing with them the documentation and the proofs of all the claims that we do, we can actually share the e-documentation with them, which is based on LMS. So this LMS can actually, if it is used in that particular manner and in that customized manner, can actually serve as the documentation backbone of an accreditation backbone of all engineering and technology related programs. In the coming days, in the coming years, even the accreditation bodies would be confused on how to conduct visits and how to check with the universities and with the institutions regarding their accreditation and quality matters. So what we can do is that we can use this template, and we can use this LMS for specific course related, for specific accreditation related record keeping. It's an automatic way of record keeping. And lastly, before I end, I would like to talk about the love for science. And we all know that most of the engineers and scientists and technologists have a love for science. And people who are from other sectors of education and other professions also know that science is interesting, and they know that science is a very important subject to life, and it's a very important subject for life. So it has applications, science applications, and let's say we have pilots here, and they know that science is applicable to their flying studies. And let's say we have people from architecture, we have people from other biological departments and life sciences departments and social sciences departments. All of them know that science is actually a very important contributing factor to their area of knowledge. So the theme is that I love science, and for that I need to mention that it actually appears to many students as boring and difficult in their high school or O and A level studies. So the reason is that it's actually not that boring and difficult. it's actually maybe not projected correctly. So what happens is that the students lose interest along that line or along that passage. And once they start to lose interest, what happens is that it's a loss of talent to the overall national resource of science. So we actually lose talent because we cannot project science in an exciting or in an appealing manner to the students. And this feeling is something that many of us have experienced during our studies at the university, that at some point we were demotivated by whatever we were doing, because it was not being projected in an exciting or in a fun manner. Well, not funny manner, in a fun manner. So through this LMS template and digitalization campaign, what we can do is that we can give a new exciting digital face to science through graphics-based new LMS techniques. So a big question that we should question to our own selves is that how long would it take us to go back to the normal? Since many people are actually proposing that this is the new normal for let's say some time now. So Brandon Hall Group found that by mid-June 2020, 68% of the organizations were turning to e-learning as a sustainable alternative to face-to-face learning. 68% of organizations were using e-learning by mid-June. And research shows that 82% of organizations plan to start producing more digital learning. So I was happy to see these statistics that we are one of those 82% organizations who have actually started on planning and development of digital learning. And then how long does it have to be carried out can also be answered by another finding which says that only 5% think that learning strategy, investment, and resourcing will go back to what they were. 5% of the people, 5% of the academics, and 5% of the professionals actually think that we will be able to go back to the actual learning. So for students who are attending, it's very important for them to realize the fact that this is the new normal now. You've got to adjust to this normal, and you've got to adapt with this normal. And learning is very important in this e-learning environment. So my recommendations would be to use LMS in a more reliable and to rely more on the LMS. And instead of personal mails, we can use LMS announcements. Obviously, for very personal talks with the students, we can use emails. But for general course-related concerns, what I prefer to do is that I like to keep my announcements and my feedback restricted to the LMS access. And then the students should be emphasized on accessing the LMS for keeping track of their course. So let's say the students should know that every day they should check their LMS and courses to see if there is any update or new assignment or new assessment or new announcement. And the use of discussion fora should be encouraged, because that's like my personal liking because of the freedom from grade phobia. So as already stated, as already explained, that we can use this LMS template for very program specific and very technology specific and for very specific requirements of the programs and schools. So for example, in my case, and those who are from the School of Engineering may be able to recognize the fact that the documentation for the National Technology Council and Pakistan Engineering Council are very much in conformity with each other. So we can actually collaborate on having a single template and single platform to express our engineering and technology related expertise. So I would vouch for one standard template for engineering and technology programs with collaborative optimal use of resources. So let's say if there are people who are better at teaching electronics in the School of Engineering, let's say, so we can collaborate on different topics, and we can develop a new course for best market use. And it's always true that nobody is perfect. Nobody has command over all the knowledge aspects. So it's important that we collaborate and we make a team to bring the best, to use the best in everyone. So after all of this, I would like to conclude my session, and I would say that thank you very much for your patient listening. The respected faculty who have joined, who have taken time out from their schedule of classes, are highly appreciated, and I would like to thank them from the core of my heart to join this session. I would like to thank my own people who have joined from the Institute of Aviation Studies, my principal who has encouraged me, who always encourages us to speak on different topics related to our expertise. And I'm last but not the least, I'm thankful to Shah Saab and their vibrant team and Rana Saab and their vibrant UMT connected team for generating this atmosphere and for generating this energy in UMT related to the digitalization campaign. So the session was supposed to end at 12, so we still have 5 to 7 minutes where we can discuss
Definitely,
questions.
you're more welcome, and thank you so much for your kind words. That was really encouraging. Definitely, our all agenda always is that no faculty and no course is left behind. So we are doing these sessions all this week, and I would request to all the participants that if you wish to join same sessions, we're having one more today, and we're going to have we're continuing doing it for the rest of the week. So if you wish to join, you can join by clicking on the same link, and I'll share the details with you over the email. One more request to all the participants: if you wish to share your OLLARC story and give a presentation like Mr. Arsalan did, so I'm going to type in my email address. That is stairs@umt.edu.pk. So please send us an email over there, and we'll be more than happy to arrange your OLLARC story. Now, there are many questions in the chat box, and there are some hands raised as well. But before I
All right.
move to the questions, I'd just like to quickly share something with all of you. Okay, now sometimes what happens that students or faculty, they're asking same type of queries and questions again and again. So for that, we have created user guides and tutorials videos on our website. Kindly note down this website address. I will share it with all of you in your chat box as well. Whenever you face any difficulties regarding LMS or any technical issues at all, simply go to Stairs Help Desk, click on Student Support, go to User Guides, and over there you can find all these things, which most probably that this will help you and clarify all of your queries and concerns. All right, thank you so much. So let's move to the hands that are raised. So we'll start with the Dr. Ahmed Ayaz. I'm going to give you the floor. You can now unmute yourself.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Dr. Ahmed Ayaz, your mic is unmute. If you're facing any technical issues, please type in the chat box so I'll be able to assist you. Or you can type in your question in the chat box.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, now we can.
Excellent presentation. MashaAllah, Mubarak ho, Arsalan. Very
Shukriya, sir.
detailed, or this is really coming from the experience that you have gone through. Just two quick questions or comments, I would say. With this LMS being hooked up with the ERP system, एट टाइम्स वो स्टूडेंट्स जो फीस डिफ़ॉल्ट या किसी वजह से ग्रे लिस्ट में आ जाते हैं, तो दे आर अनएबल टू देन गेट कनेक्टेड विद द सिस्टम, क्योंकि देन इट इज़ ऑल लिंक्ड अप। पास्ट में हम ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स को अकोमोडेट कर लिया करते थे अपने लेक्चर्स में, डिस्पाइट के अभी उनके जो इश्यूज हैं फीस के वो अनरिजॉल्व ही चल रहे होते थे फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो
Exactly.
एक इस एंगल से मेरी कमेंट है कि व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि ये ठीक है या गलत है? और
जी
मेरा
जी सर।
दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपने इसको HEC, PEC और NTC के एक्रेडिटेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट के साथ इसको प्रपोज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन देखना यह है कि क्या उन्होंने कोई बेंचमार्क या कोई स्टैंडर्ड्स डिफाइन किए हैं इस मोड ऑफ स्टडीज़ को? ये तो हमारी नीड थी, हमने इसको कर लिया। HEC ने कुछ एफर्ट की कि ऑनलाइन मोड को भी स्टैंडर्डाइज किया जाए, बट आई हैव नॉट कम अप,
Exactly.
डोंट नो कि अभी उन्होंने उसको स्टैंडर्ड्स उसके डिफाइन किए हैं या नहीं किए हैं। तो टिल दैट टाइम आई एम स्टिल स्केप्टिकल कि जब NTC की टीम आएगी तो वो रियली अप्रिशिएट कर पाएगी हमारे इस रिकॉर्ड कीपिंग को ऑन सॉफ्ट कॉपीज, जिसने आपने भी
Record
थोड़ा
keeping.
सा इसको हाईलाइट किया। तो अभी हमारा खुद सिस्टम UMT के अंदर 100% LMS बेस्ड नहीं है, हम बहुत सा ERP को कर रहे हैं, हमारे रिजल्ट्स उसके ऊपर बन रहे हैं, जबकि एग्ज़ाम हम कुछ इसके LMS पे ले रहे हैं, और कुछ अब हम मोड अगर रिलैक्सेशन हो सकता है मैनुअल मोड में चले जाएं। तो थिंग्स आर इम्प्रूवमेंट इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, यू हैव हाईलाइटेड, लेकिन अभी हमें थोड़ा सा और इसके ऊपर मेहनत करने की ज़रूरत होगी इंशाल्लाह।
Exactly sir.
Only
Inshallah
then
sir.
we'll be
Inshallah.
able to comply with the external agencies accreditation requirements. Was that it? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dr. Azaz is also the associate principal of the Institute of Aviation Studies. So we've actually, so many of the things that we have discussed, we actually have already discussed earlier in our institute, in our own institute. So I would just like to highlight his two comments that that he has presented. One is the standardization of different platforms. So let's say the ERP is a different platform than LMS. एंड ERP के अंदर एक तो सर आपने जिक्र कर दिया कि उसमें जो LMS के साथ उसकी इंटीग्रेशन है वो ज़रूरी है। दूसरा मेरा भी एक फीडबैक होगा कि जो हमारे IT के जो डेवलपर्स हैं, जो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स UMT के हैं, उनको इसके ऊपर काम करना चाहिए कि कोई एक स्टैंडर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म हम बना लें। मसलन कोई एक जिस तरह UMT की ऐप बनाई है, माई UMT की जो ऐप है, उस तरह से कोई कंप्यूटर का कोई सॉफ्टवेयर हो, बेशक UMT की ऐप ही हो, उसके अंदर आप कंप्यूटर के ऊपर एक कंप्लीट पैकेज दे दें जिसमें G पोर्टल भी आ जाए, A पोर्टल भी आ जाए, ERP भी आ जाए, और उसमें LMS के भी एक्सेस आ जाए, जितने भी पोर्टल्स हैं उनका एक्सेस आ जाए। तो मैं अक्सर ये नोट करता हूँ कि क्लासेस में आप जाएं तो किसी न किसी फैकल्टी मेंबर का कोई ना कोई अकाउंट खुला होता है, तो ये हमारी शराफत है कि हम उसको लॉग आउट कर देते हैं। लेकिन एक कहने की बात ये है कि असल में लॉगिन्स और पासवर्ड्स इतने ज़्यादा हो गए हैं कि भूल जाती हैं बातें, लॉगिन्स और उनको लॉग आउट लॉग इन करना। तो कोई इस तरह का हमारा UMT का अपना सॉफ्टवेयर, कोई इतना एप्लीकेशन हो जिसके अंदर A पोर्टल, G पोर्टल, LMS, ERP, Zoom, MS Teams, हर चीज़ इंटीग्रेट हो जाए उसके अंदर।
So I'd
although
like
this
to
is
I'd just like to add some more information to it. First of all, the concern that whenever students are having any issues regarding ERP or their accounts getting blocked or regarding to LMS, the first thing is that they should do this, that they should send us an email on ithelpdesk@umt.edu.pk. I mentioned that email address in the chat box also. Secondly, just to give you a heads up, we are actually working on a CRM, and that we are going to launch very soon. With that, these issues will be, you can say on live support, that as soon as any student is paying their fee, so their access will be, resumed like right away. So the systems
exactly.
and responses will be you can say 10 or 20 times even better and faster. So we're working on that. Uh, uh, Thirdly, I think you mentioned regarding ERP system and everything. Okay, I think I've answered that. So now we have the next person, Mr. Muhammad Talha, who have raised his hand. I'm going to unmute you. You can now unmute yourself and go ahead, please.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, to Principal IS and to all faculty member and my colleagues of aviation department. So I would appreciate our instructor Arsalan Asim for a great presentation, and also Stairs Sayyid Murtaza for conducting this uh, session. So I was having back in April.
Thank you.
Before month I was having a problem which was solved greatly by Stairs. I would like to ask a question to Saslan that why rather than emails, why should not we introduce a messaging system to in our UMT app, so that the instructor and the students can cooperate each other directly. He also highlighted before that during Sir Ahmed Izza's question that it should be integrated, like Zoom and everything should be in one app. So I would like to ask,
Yes.
sir, why should not we introduce the messaging system that a student and instructor can cooperate with each other in this? Because during more mails from other departments of IES, other departments of the university, we cannot. Sometimes the instructor cannot see the mails. So why cannot we personally chat with the instructor in the UMD app? So kindly, sir, uh, regarding this.
Yeah, yes, sure. Yes, sure. Thank you, Talha. Thank you for your kind words. Talha has been my student in multiple courses. And his question is, and his recommendation is that we can create a messaging system in our unified in UMT application. So one of the answers, Talha, is that it's from RS, which says who say that Moodle LMS has a messages system. So it's right. I've been using it too. But if you like want it specifically for the sake of messaging, that can be done as well, because a messaging app doesn't take much effort to develop. So we can do that as well. We can actually work. We can actually think over that and see how many students actually would like to support such a first of all such a unified system, integrated system, and secondly a specific messaging application within that system to support students um, instant connection with the instructor or with the advisor. We can do that.
Uh,
I
sure.
think
I would also like to add over here. I think yes, that's a very nice suggestion. And mostly
Thank you,
what
sir.
happens is that we do not explore our softwares. For example, LMS have many other options that are there, and they are there for us, for the faculty and for the students, but we're not exploring it the way it should be. At the moment, there are multiple ways that allows you to connect with your faculty and with your course facilitator on a different platforms. First of all of your faculty's mobile numbers, email address are always shared with you on the student portal. You can always go to your help desk and your student portal and check who's your facilitator and who's your faculty for this particular course. Their email and their phone number are mentioned over there for you to always talk to them directly in case of any emergency. Now, secondly, the messaging app is already there. If anybody likes to volunteer and open the LMS, I can show you right now how you can actually chat and text to with your faculty. Otherwise, I can share my screen. If Mr. Aslan you wish, I can show all of you right now that how you can text message using the LMS with your faculty members.
yes, I think we can teach any one of the students.
Yes,
Like we
sir.
can ask a student to, so we can have the student's perspective. तो शाह साहब ये तलहा है, यही कर देगा आपको। अपना LMS इसको शेयर करते, इसको आप समझा दें किस तरीके से, तो जो बाकी जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो भी समझ जाएंगे कि LMS को किस तरह से फैकल्टी को कनेक्ट करने के लिए यूज़ करना है। तो तलहा अगर आप अपना LMS ओपन करके दिखा सकते हैं तो एक स्टूडेंट्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से भी समझ आ जाए कि किस तरह से आपने अपनी फैकल्टी को अप्रोच
यस
करना है
सर,
LMS
काइंडली
में।
सर आप
और
स्क्रीन शेयर करने का ऑप्शन दे दें। यस
जी जी जी, वो सर देते हैं, मुर्तज़ा साहब देंगे।
I'm just giving you the access. Hold on. All right, Mr. Mohammed Allah, now you can share your screen.
यस सर, आई एम एबल टू स्क्रीन शेयर।
I can see your mobile screen,
Yes.
yes, and you're logged in
Yes.
the LMS. Now, आप इसके टॉप पे एक बेल आइकन देख रहे हैं, ये नोटिफिकेशन होता है जब
Yes, sir.
भी कोई कोर्स में अपडेट होता है या कोई कैलेंडर पे आपको एक्टिविटी आती है तो वो यहाँ पे नोटिफिकेशन आती है। अब इसके साथ ही एक छोटा सा मैसेज टाइप आइकॉन है, आप इसको काइंडली क्लिक करें। अब लेट्स से आपने मिस्टर अरसलान आसिम को एक मैसेज यहाँ पे सेंड करना है, तो सर्च में उनका नाम लिखें। स्पेलिंग्स इनके ठीक कर लें आप प्लीज, ये मिस्टेक
Yes,
काफी लोग
yes,
करते हैं।
yes. Including UMT connected.
Yeah, including myself as well. Yeah. So हाँ, this
अभी
one.
सही है?
हाँ, now it's correct. So search. Okay, now select the contact.
Offline.
Now you can write your message over here. So whenever Mr. Aslan will come online on the LMS, he'll be able to receive your message and then he'll be able to respond you right there. Okay, so these are actually some of actually it's a very good example that there are many features available to you in different softwares, and different facilities are already provided to you as students, but most of you are not aware of it because you're
Yes,
not
sir. We are not
exploring the
available.
softwares. Maybe we feel that what if we click on LMS and something will explode or something terrible will happen. No, these are very basic softwares. For example, how you have learned your using your Android mobile or your iPhone, by just taking a little bit interest. So if you'll just take a little bit of your interest and try to explore these softwares, you will find many other features that will make your daily life quite easy. Okay. So I think I think that was a very good question, and because of your question, I think बहुत से बच्चों की confusion जो है वो solve होगी. So I always appreciate such questions, and I'd like to announce that the participant who would ask the most interesting question or more questions can get a letter or a certificate of appreciation from our department, which Mr. Aslan can decide whoever will get. So take active participation and ask as much questions as you can. All right, now we have Mr. Imran Said raising his hand. I'm going to unmute you. You can now unmute yourself.
Gee, thank you. First of all, Aslan, thank you very much for a wonderful professional presentation. And I'm happy that as expected, we are practicing all these in IS. And I expect the आगे भी होता रहेगा inshallah. Secondly, I would like to appreciate UMT Connected team. Although they were present before the pandemic in our UMT environment, but the way they took off after this pandemic situation, and they have climbed to their altitude with full thrust. I'm very impressed. And सिर्फ ये हो रहा है कि जहाँ जो चीज वीक एंड पे आ रही है वो मैं समझता हूँ टू द यूजर पार्ट है. यूएमटी कनेक्टेड has done its part जो भी इन्होंने करना है, but the students, the way the Shasabada was saying before, students and the faculty members, actually we are in our part, we are not giving the much attention it needed actually. वही बात है कि आपने Android सीख लिया, iOS सीख लिया, तो ये उससे मुश्किल कभी भी नहीं हो सकता. So anyway, please ये मेरी यूएमटी कनेक्टेड टीम के लिए मैं मुबारकबाद भी देता हूं उनको, अंडर द कमांड ऑफ राणा साहब. दे हैव डन वेरी वेल और वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग सच सेशंस अगेन एंड अगेन ताकि हम आहिस्ता आहिस्ता इस पे इसको डेवलप कर लें. और दिस इज द बेसिकली नीड ऑफ द टाइम. कोई नहीं करेगा तो मैं आपको एक बड़े मजे की एग्जांपल 1 मिनट की देना चाहता हूं अपने प्रोफेशन के हिसाब से, जो आम बंदे को भी समझ आ जाएगी. When PIA inducted Boeing 777 in its fleet, तो बहुत से पुराने जो हमारे कैप्टन थे पुराने, they refused to fly. उन्होंने we are okay in the older aircrafts because they were machine men only. They were not digital men. फिर क्या हुआ? Boeing 777 ने पूरी दुनिया की मार्केट कैप्चर कर ली और जिन जहाजों पे वो रहना चाहते थे वो decommissioned हो गए. They were jobless just because कि वो कंप्यूटर यूज नहीं करना चाहते थे जहाज के अंदर. लेकिन जिन्होंने चेंज को एक्सेप्ट किया, they have flown all over the world. तो ये चीजें हमें करनी पड़ेगी, स्टूडेंट्स को बतानी पड़ेंगी. It's very important. Thank you very much for the session. God bless you. Thank you UMT Connected team. Thank you Dr. साहब, बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you all.
Thank you sir.
You're welcome, sir, and
sir.
thank you so much for your kind appreciation and your kind words. Definitely, your words are like a fuel, and that really keeps me and my team going. Now, Mr. Aslan, I am just reading the message in the chat box, and there is very quiet activity going over there. Active participation is going on over there, so that's very good. I am just trying to pick any question for you. Okay, so Mr. Shahid Mahmood have asked, Sir Aslan, we can change the settings of Zoom Cloud recording, then our lectures will be available. Okay. Um, okay, which version of LMS is more friendly in usage at your end? Okay, so that's a good question. If you'd like to answer.
Actually, I don't exactly. I use the same version as most of you do. The latest version. Are you trying to ask the difference between the previous version and this one?
I guess yes. That was the question. That you enjoy. Have you enjoyed using the previous version, or have you found anything more interesting or better in the new version?
Yes, actually, the difference between the previous one and the present one was that the previous one had more liberty for the instructor to do whatever the instructor felt like doing. But then again, there was no standard way of expressing the course contents or the course proceedings. So this LMS has actually has provided most of us with a standard direction and standard template to follow for university courses. So it's actually good in a sense that it actually provides a unification, a standardization of university resources, of university courses. So I would say the present one, I would like to go with the present one.
All right, thank you so much for answering that question. In the last one, I think students have requested that if we can hold a separate session for exploring these features on LMS. So we are always available. We can do that. If Mr. Aslan would like to collaborate with us for this session, we can have it. Otherwise, if any of the faculty member would like to have a separate session for their class, so just send me an email and I'll be more than happy to arrange such a session, and in which we can explore all the Zoom options, their features, and the features of Student Portal and LMS as well. I'm getting another question in the chat box that has OLLARC encouraged you to rethink, reimagine, or revise your teaching on any way?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question? Has OLLARC? It's not in
Sure.
chat.
I've got it directly. So
All right.
the question is that OLLARC, the methodology, has OLLARC encouraged you to rethink, reimagine, and revise your teaching in any possible way?
Yes, I would like to go back to the discussion that I did on discussion fora. So this new platform where students can quickly present their opinions and can quickly write what they think about different aspects of their subject, of their courses and of their subjects that they're studying at the university, has really allowed me to think on the fact that a lot of students actually don't feel comfortable or actually are underconfident in expressing their ideas and concerns in the presence of graded tools and graded assessments. So this I don't know, maybe I feel too much obsessed with the discussion forum, but I think it's a really nice tool where we can harness the students' minds to start thinking in a critical manner and in a creative manner, and think of their course as a learning journey where they can be wrong. Obviously, anybody can be wrong, but since they will not be penalized for that, they can actually uh, learn more. So yes, I would say yes because of the discussion fora and other and similar things that we can use on LMS.
Definitely, even I would totally agree with you on this discussion forum part. This have multiple benefits. Actually, first of all, when you're having discussion forums like every other week with your class, so first of all, it improves the writing style of the students. It improves their English. They understand how to have a difference of opinion because they're writing, and they can read others' opinion and responses as well. And then it increases the interactivity with the faculty and the students. And for example, sometime any body comes from outside of UMT and they ask a teacher that what's happening in your class, what actual learning is happening in your class. So the discussion forum is a perfect example that you can show to anybody that this is what's happening in my class. uh, we have one interesting question. Would you, would you like to answer in the chat box? Now
I
suddenly
would say I would,
that
instead of नहीं, ये अल्लाह का करम। मैं कभी मैंने वो क्या कहना चाहिए कि कोई कोशिश नहीं की, लेकिन ये कि ये आपका वो जो क्या कहते हैं कि
नहीं,
the beauty is in the eyes of
I
the
always used to say to अरसलान, ये रंग से तो बट लगता है लेकिन सेहत से नहीं लगता। मैं हमेशा से कहता रहता हूँ बात।
तो वो इसमें ये है कि वो कहते हैं कि the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder। तो ये आपका हुस्न नजर है जो honestly जो इस तरह से आप तारीफ कर रहे हैं। तो बस मेरी तरफ से यही आंसर है।
Okay. Now, once again, I would like to request all the participants, if you have any questions, mainly related to our session, so please ask. Yeah. So otherwise, I think for today's session, we're almost done. And so in the end, I'd like to thanks once again to Mr. Arslan Asim for sharing this valuable information and knowledge with all of us, for giving us time. With Alvina Fatma have raised her hand. So I'm going to give you.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Sayyid Murtaza Saab, kindly can you point out the features of LMS, like bullets points? Like there is video recording, there are assignments, quizzes, lectures, and what else?
For the students, these features can be different. For faculty, there are many features in OLLARC. If you want, I can actually have a separate session on this for you and for your complete class. Maybe not for that long, for 30 minutes, for 1 hour, if you wish. Mainly the things that you have mentioned, but there are some other things that we can explore, and we can have a separate discussion on that as well.
Okay,
So,
sure.
Murtaza, I don't know. May I ask something?
Please, please.
I don't know whether my question is related to the discussion that you mentioned, that according to the topic or of the day, you have finished your conversations. But I feel one problem. If I can share my screen.
Okay, Dr. Irfan Sab would like to share.
Yes,
Okay, okay. I'm giving you the right. Okay, now you can do it.
just wait for a while. Okay. Okay, my first concern is when we try to create attendance on a portal. For example, I have my one class that is online, completely online. So which classroom shall I select? What we do, most of the faculty, we randomly click on any room. Because without assigning the room to this class, we cannot proceed to creating this lecture. So I already suggested 2-3 times to ERP and on other forums of such LMS and this technology enablement forums of UMT, that why do not we provide over here only one option, online or work from home? So if I'm taking my class from home, so I can select on both options or any of the options like work from home or online. I could not see any of such option for any online class. Randomly on any room we have to click. So one thing that in ERP or in this e-portal we can include online or work from home. For the classes which we are taking online or we are taking from home, we can give them both options.
Uh,
Secondly, yes,
okay, let me answer this one first.
yes.
I think it's a very good suggestion, and ERP actually makes the changings in this portal. So I'll note down this feedback and I'll forward it to the ERP team.
I'm sorry, Murtaza, more than 6 people promised me. We are noting down this, we are taking this to ERP. We are, it's for last 1 year I have been giving this suggestion. So I'm not very much hopeful. I'm sorry, I'm very much straightforward. But since I have to say, so I said.
I totally understand your point of view, and no problem at all. But definitely, sometime processes takes a little longer.
Yes, of course,
But
processes waiting, but I don't think that this is very, although I'm not from technology side, but I believe that this is not such a big thing that takes a year. Adding only one room into a list of rooms. I'm sorry, I'm getting blunt, but I may disagree. Anyways, I'm going to share one of my other screen. Can you see my new screen?
yes,
It's LMS screen. Is it LMS screen?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay. Yeah. I've assigned created assignment 7 or many other assignments like this. I click on it. I go for grading. I don't see any of the submitted assignment. While these assignments are submitted, but this file preview or this PDF generating preview does not provide any view of the submitted assignment so that I can grade.
Sir, can you click on your right side? There is one assignment number 5 lesson plan. Once you click
This
over
one,
here, it will, yes, then it will download.
it will download in Word. Then what's the use of creating such a PDF view over here if I have to download manually?
Uh, actually,
Yes,
that is again.
I can download. I can download manually. I can download. I can ask them to mail me in my mailbox. I can tell my students to upload it on WhatsApp or any other group. But if they upload assignment on LMS, then LMS should give its preview for grading.
Mostly what happens that sometimes yes there is a issue on the server, but when it's giving you an option of preview, it must
Mm-hmm.
preview. And I again totally agree. Mainly again, our department is, we provide support and training, so OTS is taking care of these
All
technical
right.
issues, but I will
Uh,
definitely forward.
Amarza, I totally agree with you. But for last 1 year or 1.5 year, we are dealing this technology stuff. Although I'm very technology friendly, I'm very technology user. I get things very quickly. But at times, it creates frustration when I have limited time. This assignment was due to mark or to grade 10 years back, but I'm just stuck because it's not getting me any preview on LMS.
Dr.
Although
Irfan Saab,
I downloaded many things. But it increases it increases time. It increases sort of frustration
Effort.
for me, effort for me. Once I download, then I mark it, then I grade it, then I put those grade again onto a portal or or on this LMS grading. I think there are glitches or bugs or internet issue or whatever. I don't know whatever. But
sir,
these things, yes, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. There are actually two suggestions in the chat box for this
Mm-hmm.
issue, that if you will
Okay.
restrict your assignment to a PDF format,
Hmm.
that will fix the issue. And
Okay.
my team is going to explore this even furthermore. And if there is something else apart from restricting to the PDF file, I'll
Mm-hmm.
will share it with you over the WhatsApp or on the email after this session. So inshallah.
Thank you very much. I noted down certain other issues as well, but I really I could not find that paper where I wrote it down, where I wrote them down. Well, I could only find a single paper where I
Sir,
noted these two issues.
I'm going to give you the email address.
Hmm.
You're always more than welcome to please share any concerns at all. Edu.pk. That's Stairs email. So once you find
Yeah.
any other concerns, please always write it to us. We'll be more than happy to respond to you.
Yes, and one more concern. Many of the students feel certain problems in using LMS while, especially in uploading their assignments. I always ask them to mail to the concerned department like your IT help desk or stairs, and feedback from them, from my student, is not very positive because whenever I say that we have not uploaded this assignment on LMS, why did you mail to me? I won't receive any mail. I need it on LMS. They simply send me a screenshot that said that was the problem. Why I could not upload for many times, for a longer time. It took me 3 hours, it took me 4 hours. I kept on continuously trying to upload the assignment. But this is the latest picture. I'm still unable to upload. So I mailed you. Then I always give them this suggestion that whenever you feel any problem in LMS or any other issue, technology related issue, always launch your or your complaint to the concerned department. And they say that, sir, they never replied. I don't know how much this feedback is true from them. I don't know. But simply, they tell me this, that, sir, I have mailed them twice, or I mailed them 3 times, or I mailed them last week and I could not find any reply yet. I mean, can there be such system or quick feedback for the students, the prompt action that whatever the problem they are feeling, they are facing, the problem should be addressed very quickly?
Okay, so first of all, uh, usually what happens that
Mm-hmm.
it is the quality of internet that decides, how easy the assignment can be uploaded. Usually, in normal
Yeah.
cases.
In normal cases, it is. Yes.
If the file size is more than what is what is allowed in the
3 MB.
LMS,
Yes, 3 MB.
yes, then they have to upload on the Google Drive, and then they can upload it in the LMS.
Mhm.
Third one, if they're having any general technical issues,
Mhm.
our IT help desk, first of all, uh, whenever we close any ticket, we cannot keep any tickets open. Whenever
Mhm.
we receive any tickets, we have to close it because it's a portal, it's a system, reports gets generated.
Okay.
Whenever we close any ticket, there is an
Mhm.
automated feedback form that is sent to the person who have generated that, yeah, that ticket or shared that email, and they can
Mhm.
always share their feedback. That feedback form is actually directly monitored by me and the director of our all the seniors of our department. So far we have not received, I mean, they might be confused different between different departments, but I can speak for at least ourselves. So any email that we receive on stairs or IT help desk, we have a certain time frame in which we make sure that we always get back to the students and to the faculty. Again, still if they're facing any issues, I can type our direct phone number that you can share uh, with the students
Yeah.
in
Sure.
case if they're facing any urgent problem, so they can call us right away and we'll be more than happy to assist them right away. Okay, so I'm just typing it for everyone. It's 0307 6362. There you go. Okay.
Thank you very much, Murtaza. Definitely, I'll forward this information to the students, to all of my courses, and I'll post it on LMS announcements. Definitely, I just shared concerns of the students when I, just tune them up. When I just uh, make them responsible for their delays, then they just show me or tell me these sort of causes, the reasons that this is the reason, this is the reason. So that's why I just shared you. Maybe they are wrong, maybe they are not providing me the correct information, because I do not have any other source other than verifying it from you that it really happened. So I hope the things would be getting better now. I'm sure, very much sure that things will get better.
Sure, no problem at all. And I think this should happen more often. That you should always share your feedback that you're getting from the students, so we can. I mean, rather having a session like once in a year or twice a year, and then you're having that much of feedback. So I would highly recommend and request that whenever any problem that you're having, we're having one WhatsApp group with aviations. I hope you're added in that WhatsApp group. Just type us your query right there and then. So we'll take it from there. Secondly, just for your information, I'm just sharing this is our IT help desk support,
Yeah.
and these are our requests. For today, there is only one open query that we're going to close. Rest all the queries are closed. So whenever we receive any query, we have to respond in a certain time. So we don't keep any query open at all. This is just to share, information from my side as well. So do interact with us, do get in touch with us, use our channels, use our WhatsApp channel, use our phone numbers, email addresses, and our portal. We'll be more than happy. I mean, that's what we do. We're more than happy to assist you.
So thank you very much,
All right.
Arsalan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback on some key issues of the LMS and other IT-related issues. So here I'd like to say goodbye to all of you. Lafez, and thank you for joining. Thank you for giving your time. ठीक है, शाह साहब, फिर मुझे इजाज़त है.
For sure, sir. Thank you so much for your time once again, and thanks to all the
Thank
participants
you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
for attending this session and staying with us till the end. So we'll see you in the next session. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.
Allah Hafiz. Allah. Yeah, Allah Hafiz.